thing to see me through really helped sometimes, because this process comes and goes through life. Maybe every 5 years it comes back again or something like that, depending on how you engage with life and how God or the Spirit, angels engage with you. It could be more often for some people if they deliberately engage in some new things, like maybe they take on deliberately new roles in life, like they might join a mission trip or get really systematic with this sort of self-sacrificing process, for example. Or they take on a project of reading the Bible, like really engaging and trying to read the Bible diligently or something. Or you might start, say, a weekly Bible study at home, but really engaging, right? Beyond committing to going to church on Sunday every day. And then there comes a stage where you can really sort of get to sort of like being in the mind of the Spirit constantly all the time. And that's a very good place to be. Then you're really kind of like fulfilling the walk, so to speak. You're always mindful, you're always bringing your attention back to the fact that God is always with us. The spiritual realm is actually right here, right? So, one of the things that I, for example, did, and others can do also, in for example, engaging with this, and beyond converting, right? Beyond accepting Jesus into your life and all those things. I found fasting to be very powerful. Now I did fast before I became a Christian, but the Bible also, Jesus also recommends fasting. And there's many types of fasts, and committing to a fast can be, you can put the level so high that it's like something like really trying to run a marathon in just a couple months. Or it can be something like, okay, maybe just doing, 30 jumping jacks every day for a year is good enough. So really, there's a whole different sort of spectrum of challenge that you can take on. What I did is I started to fast from eating. I would only drink water for anywhere between 20 to 24 hours twice a week. Before then, I was never interested in exercise. I ate whatever I wanted. As a matter of fact, I ate without thinking much about it. If there were snacks at work, I just munch on them like everybody else. I couldn't think about going to work and not having lunch a day. Like that would be a really terrible thing, because sitting in the office, your one sort of peak in the day is going and having lunch, and then of course you're dealing with food coma and just almost falling asleep at your desk at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then by the time you're about ready to wake up again, it's like 4, and then it's time to go home. So like the whole routine flips, But then really engaging with like not eating at that period was like really setting the temperature up high in the forge, right? And it wasn't that hard after a while, but that depends on each person. And I'll put some links in the description for you guys that want to know about the health benefits of intermittent fasting. And I'll tell you what, it really does fire up your spiritual engagement. Something really happens. And I kind of learned a little bit about that from the Christian's perspective also. And it's about, it is a very brutal and stark, austere term, but it's called crucifying the flesh, right? And now I feel like we're back in, the 1400s talking about this. Today we probably would have used slightly different words, because crucifying the flesh sounds so self-deprecating, or maybe that's not the word, but people aren't into to that sort of terminology for anything these days. But what you're doing is that you're foregoing all the things that your corporal body screams at your mind to hurry up and do. Pleasure, food, even, pornographic addiction. That's a huge one these days, right? So if you forgo these things, all the things that your body screams into your mind to go and engage with, hurry up and give that dopamine response and whatever it is. And of course, there's other spirits that are tickling into your mind and using those hardwired neural nets in your brain of old bad habits to basically get you to do all these things that doesn't strengthen your spirit, because the spirit can't be strengthened if you're not used to saying no to what the flesh is constantly demanding of you. And you will notice what I'm saying if you, for example, anybody that's been on a fast will, a long-term fast, for example 3-day plus or something like that, will attest to this, or anybody that's done fasting over a cadence of time regularly for a few months will know exactly what I'm talking about. You get a retune basically, and you can't remember, or you can't really understand how you went about things before that time that you had, for example, fast, because now you see things so much more clearer. And I'm just going to leave that as a surprise for some of you guys that decide to try that out. And whether it is 24-hour no eating fast, 18-hour no eating fast twice a week, or whether it's, an iPhone fast, internet fast, social media fast, 2 days out of the week or something like that. Once you've engaged with it a few cycles over, something kind of special happens. It really does. And that also definitely, this probably applies to guys and girls, but definitely for guys, I know for sure, and I can tell you big time, if, you guys have probably heard of like the NoFap movement, the no streaming porn movement. If you're curious, just Google it. I'm not going to get into the details because it's a little yucky for some, I guess. But if you try something like that, really, you're gonna feel very powerful. You're gonna feel like you conquered something very, very big in your life. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And I'm gonna try to find some links and put them in the description, because there's so many people that have done this thing, and I myself, I can attest to it. You're going to feel so much better, and you're going to feel better about yourself, and you're going to be way more confident around, for example, women. And you're not going to feel like an imbecile and like super embarrassed and like, it's weird. Something good happens. Links in the description, check it out. So fasting is like that, and it's like putting your soul, your spirit and your soul back into the forge for it to become upgraded. And it's a powerful process. See it through, and blessings come your way, really. They will. Okay guys, if you like the content, consider smashing that like button, subscribe, send the video around or something like that. Maybe you got a friend that likes to hear these kinds of things. Leave a comment if you have experience yourself with fasting, or if you came places with really advance yourself through something like that. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video.